juice. Give me a little juice. You're gonna make them get kicked out. Uh-oh.
Hey gang, welcome back. We recently had the pleasure of heading over to the Barber Vintage Motorcycle Festival, which we previously had no idea was right in our backyard. So be sure to check that vlog out where we saw legendary racers, stunt shows, fast track racing, flat track racing, vintage museum, a massive swap meet, loads and loads of vendors, and demo rides galore. Also, while we were there, we got to see a really cool slow maneuvers demonstration put on by the BMW Authority School about living in the friction zone and counter steering and body weight counterbalancing. I've always been fascinated and impressed by these guys, so I thought I'd drop this short demo here in full for you guys to enjoy it with us. So check it out and tell us what you think in the comments below.
My options are I can pull the clutch in, and now this is where we live. That's not real fun. Passenger doesn't love that. Or the clutch is all the way out. Well, so I'm going slow, right? I don't want to stall the bike. If I'm going this slow and I let the clutch out, oh, I stall it. That's not great. So what are my options? Well, we're going to have to give it a little bit more gas. And now I'm in the gas station. I got a passenger, and here I am trying not to stall the bike. So I can't live here with the clutch out because it's just the speed is too great. As cool as it looks in the gas station when you're doing 70 through there. So what we do is we live in this friction zone where I'm slipping the clutch. Now, think about the clutch as the gatekeeper between the power from the motor to the rear of the bike.
Where's your motor?
In other words, I'm going to start giving this bike a lot of gas, but we're not going to take off. Why? Because we're living in this friction zone. So let's add throttle to the motorcycle. What changes? Nothing changes. Because it's the friction zone that is the gatekeeper, not the motor that's dictating how fast I go. Now if I let the clutch out, bike takes off. So that's the first thing. That allows us not to stall the bike, not to take off, and ride nice and smooth and controlled in tight environments. The second thing that we do that's kind of foundationally different, I want you to pay attention to my body's center line and the motorcycle's center line. Notice that as the motorcycle falls over, I'm dropping over equal and opposite direction. I'm counterbalancing. In other words, I'm countering the drop of the motorcycle as it falls over. See that? Now this is important for a few reasons. How many of us know what this is like? We're going slow, gravity takes hold, and all of a sudden we have this. And this is not fun. And guess what? As massively powerfully strong as I am, and it's massive, let me tell you, I cannot hold up a 650-pound motorcycle. I will lose every time, all the time. So, if I counter that drop, the motorcycle falls over, far more control, but there's less weight that gravity gets to play with. So that's the first biggie. The second piece that's really, really cool about this counterbalancing idea is that the further this motorcycle leans over, the tighter a radius it will actually turn. So keep in mind, this is a sport touring bike, right? We want to turn nice and tight. So let's add a little bit of counterbalance here. And notice, I want you to pay attention to the turning radius, that this thing starts to turn as I get it leaned over. And you can hear the clutch is also in that friction zone, so I'm modulating my speed. So you can see this thing turns pretty tight. That's all. There was a couple Hail Marys in here, but most of that was clutch control and counterbalance. And now I'm just getting. So the third thing that's a little bit unique and different is the way we use our head and eyes. So we all know that expression, you go where you look. And I agree with that. But here's a question for the room. Right now, I'm going to turn nice and tight, full lock, and I'm going to go that way. So if I'm going to go where I look, where should I be looking? I should be looking over here. So think about that for a second. My motorcycle's going to be going that way. But I'm telling you, you need to start looking that way. Very extreme. That is not how we ride motorcycles typically. Typically, if I was in a canyon or I was on a road race track, I'm going to be looking through the turn. I'm going to be at these 45s or maybe a 90. I'm not looking all the way over here while the bike's going that way. So that's a weird thing to get your mind wrapped around. But what it does mean is, when I do that, the motorcycle rewards me with a nice tight radius. So pay attention to my head and eyes as I turn this motorcycle around. I'm going to look over my shoulder and turn the bike around. And it's weird at first because I'm going in a different direction than I'm looking, and it's strange. But if you go to a motor school and you listen to a new motor officer going through a pattern, you hear the instructor, the thing you're going to hear him say is, get your head around. Because what new riders tend to do is they say, okay, I'm going to turn, and they're doing this 45, what we normally do on a motorcycle, and guess what? You don't make the pattern. We're not turning tight enough. Where was I looking? I was looking over here. Well, that's not where I want to go. I want to go over there. So that's the third piece of this. Now, as Keith mentioned, I've been riding police bikes for years and years and competing, and I teach a lot of motor officers around the world on techniques. So there's a lot of little things, but the bulk of what you're seeing me do right here is all stuff you need to learn at our BMW Performance Center. There right there is one of our authority bikes for our school, so you're not having to jump on your own bike and risk hitting the deck with it.
That's pretty
nice. One of our bikes in the deck, and we take it back up.
You should go and do that at school.
But think about
You think that's here?
control of the comfort.
I think so.
As I mentioned, I'm not big, strong, muscling person on this motorcycle. I'm employing a few things, and if for those of you that have ever played golf, one thing you'll know when it comes to driving a ball way down the fairway is it has way less to do with how hard you hit it and how correctly you hit it. There's a few things to do, and you put all those things in sequence, and voila, the motorcycle or the golf ball goes far. The same thing works here with the motorcycle. I am not muscling this bike. I can throw it around. It is a magic carpet ride for me, and you can learn that at the Performance Center. Just think about, so just this alone. So I'm going to be riding, cruising through traffic. All of a sudden, traffic slows down. Am I going to duck walk? No, I'm not going to duck walk. We can sit here and balance and control the bike. Nice and slow and nice and controlled.
That's
it's not
really
scary.
hard.
We don't have any problems. Oh, we got to turn around, get our head around, drop the bike over nice and smooth. The bike is stock. This is effectively a BMW R1250 RT. Showroom bike. Nothing's tricky and modified about it. So, I would like to introduce you to Brent. He works at the Performance Center, and he's just going to introduce himself and hopefully tell you guys what a great job I'm doing.
Brent, you're doing an excellent job. My name is Brent. I'm with BMW US Rider Academy. We're down in Greer, South Carolina. Quinn is masterfully demonstrating our slow speed and confined space maneuvers. We teach this as part of our Authority School. We also teach off-road training, on-road training, private training, and private tours. Every class we teach is on our bikes. If you total on our bike, we'll just bring you another one. It's liability free. We want you focused on the training. We have chefs cook our lunches. It's a fantastic time. We have 137 acres
cool. This
of
class is really expensive.
Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
And we have our own track. While we're here, we're
Let's
offering
be honest.
20% off
If you can,
on our
let's be honest.
classes.
If you can do
And by the
this,
10th, we'd love to hear what
you'll
you'll
be
learn
a
on a motorcycle.
better rider than 99% of the population.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming out and hanging out with us.
So I told you, bro.
If you have any questions, I'll be
Police,
here.
motorcycle people, the people that do this,
thanks again.
are
Have
the
a
best
great
riders
day.
in the world. Arguably.
Alright gang, I hope you enjoyed this instructive little demo. As riders, we are lifelong learners, and seeing these guys work these bikes like this always impresses me. If you'd like to get professional level instruction from these very experts, you can go sign up for a bunch of different classes at the BMW US Rider Academy. If you do, make sure you come back here and tell our community all about the experience. In the meantime, we'll keep bringing you along for our experiences, and we'll see you in the next one.